Good afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don back in here with you as we approach 5 p.m. Central, 6 o'clock on the Eastern time zone. Watching heavy thunderstorms, again, rumbling across East Alabama for you folks up there in the Dr. Don coverage area. They have been at bay now south of the I-85 corridor for the last several hours, but we are beginning now to see some storms redevelop up there around Lynette, Hughley, Valley, West Point. We know that tornado damage relief continues up there in southern Troup County from West Point all the way back over to Pine Mountain, and we're beginning to see storms form in that area once again. Now, we have nothing severe up here to be concerned about, but nonetheless, we have showers and thunderstorms in the area. So we're going to have to watch that real close over the next several hours, and we'll see if the Weather Service decides to issue any types of watches or warnings. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for Lee County, and we're seeing some bigger thunderstorms blow up there just to the east of Opelika, and then some heavier storms in southeastern Chambers County, right there along I-85, and up there to just south of Lynette and West Point. Big storms over there in extreme southeastern and eastern Harris County as well, moving up toward Manchester. As I zoom back out, though, you can see that you folks up here in Cleburne, Randolph, Clay, Talladega, you all look good this afternoon. Also down for most of Chambers, Tallapoosa and Coosa, you look good there as well. That severe thunderstorm watch starts there in Lee County, moves over toward Elmore, Autauga, Dallas, and all points south. This particular severe thunderstorm watch is in effect this afternoon until 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll see what happens. I would anticipate a new watch to be issued, which would probably cover some more of our West Georgia counties. I would expect a watch to be issued within the next hour or so. That'll probably replace portions of the watch that are in place now, and I would anticipate that it will be extended further off to the east to encompass some of East Alabama. And, you know, big question mark as to whether they go any further north with it, but we'll wait and see. We might see them come back north a county or two when they issue that new watch, which I expect to happen within the next hour or so. If you're in LaGrange, I've got questions there. The storms that are forming are south of you right now. They're down there around Lynette, West Point, Valley, Casita, Hughley, Shawmut. This is the area right now where we're seeing the storms redevelop right there along I-85, and they're going to continue moving up off to the northeast. Now, we have had several hours of sunshine across East Alabama and West Georgia, so this atmosphere up here where we saw all of the training of the storms this morning has really rejuvenated or has basically recharged from all that stuff we had this morning with all the sunshine. Temperatures have gotten well up into the 70s, maybe even low 80s in some locations. So this atmosphere across East Alabama and West Georgia is certainly ripe for reformation of showers and thunderstorms, and they could potentially go severe. As we look back down a little bit further to the south, though, we're seeing storms train now from about Troy, Alabama, back over into the Columbus, Phoenix City area, or just south of Columbus in Phoenix City. Those storms are moving off to the northeast and southeast Alabama. We have some pretty heavy storms forming down there. We had a tornado warning earlier just south of Andalusia. They're now covering that with a special weather statement. And then as we look back into southwest Alabama, the trend that I don't like is that these storms are moving north. They're moving northeast, but they've got more of a northern component to them. And then if you look over there in Mississippi, we've got some really big supercell thunderstorms that are forming over here in Mississippi. Now, understand we're looking at this through the Birmingham radar, so you can't see the storms, but my goodness, look at all of those warnings over there in Mississippi. Every bit of that moving off to the east, northeast. So after looking at that, I would anticipate the new watch probably will be a tornado watch. And if I had to guess, I would say that it's probably going to go further north than the current severe thunderstorm watch. I would anticipate at least from Birmingham south in the new watch, if not a little further north than that. You see where the cold front is stalled now. And so anywhere along and south of that, we could start seeing these storms rejuvenate this afternoon, and more storms may certainly be in the offering for East Alabama and West Georgia as we go into late afternoon and during the overnight hours. And I told you earlier I was awfully afraid that was going to be the case, and I think that's actually what we're going to be looking at. So let me show you some graphics. Let me go back up to this graphic, and let me remind you to go over to our Dr. Don's weather page over on YouTube, subscribe, and click that bell so that when we go live, you'll be guaranteed to get that push notification. Also, let me welcome a brand new supporter here on Dr. Don's Weather. It's Avery Arrington with Gray Services, Gray Hill Services, LLC. Avery offers storm shelters, septic tanks, and line trenching. He serves East Alabama and West Georgia. And there's his phone number on the screen, 256-610-4680. Give Avery a call this afternoon. Now, we're going into storm season. I mean, we really haven't even gotten started yet with storm season, and we've already dealt with 3 or 4 rounds of severe weather in the last month or so. So if you've ever been interested in a storm shelter, now's the time to at least give Avery a call. And let him give you some ideas on what it's going to cost to get that done. He can handle that for you. And again, his number is 256-610-4680. Welcome to the family, Avery. We're very proud to have you here on Dr. Don's Weather, and we hope that you hang around with us for a long time. Avery Hill Services, LLC, over in Randolph County. Again, he serves all of East Alabama and West Georgia. So here's the latest graphic from the National Weather Service office out of Birmingham, showing the severe possibilities this afternoon and the timing. We're talking central Alabama, maybe Birmingham, down to about Clanton between 6 p.m. this afternoon and 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then across the rest of East Alabama from about Alexander City down to Auburn between 4 p.m. and 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then south of Auburn, we're talking through about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So another long duration event likely about to get underway as we see storms redeveloping now across East Alabama and then down into southeast Alabama. We believe all of that stuff's going to continue moving to the north. Of particular interest right now is over here in Troup County, the southern end of Troup County. Let me bring the radar current and let me take you back over here to the radar. There you go. You can see that we have this heavy thunderstorm now near Valley, Alabama, between Valley and Lynette, and it's moving to the northeast. Now, the tornado area where we have the damage in Troup County, just north of West Point there on 29. Let me turn the telestrator on, and I'll show you this area. This is the area where the tornado touched down this morning and caused all the damage there just north of West Point. We have multiple homes that have been destroyed and several churches and businesses with damage as well. That tornado track was basically something like this. Now, don't hold me to it, but and I apologize for the squiggly line. But that is basically the track that the tornado took. We know that we have damage down here at the Wild Animal Safari Park at Pine Mountain, and we have spotted areas of damage all along this track, with I think the most significant being right there at West Point from what I've seen so far. All right, so look at the storms just to your south. If you're in this area, helping with the cleanup and the search and rescue this afternoon. This is what we're looking at. We have this line of thunderstorms which stretches from Lynette down through Valley and then back off to the east just south of Pine Mountain. And all of this is moving to the northeast. I'll draw those arrows for you there. And so you can kind of get an idea of the direction this storm is moving. So if you're out in this storm, you need to seek shelter until it passes. Now, I don't see a tremendous amount of hail with this storm. The algorithm on the computer is giving us about a 30% chance of any hail. And right now they're saying, the computer is saying less than a half inch in size. So don't see any hail there. But we want you to know that this is coming. Really the biggest threat with this thunderstorm is going to be heavy rainfall as it moves up and through the area. We're really not even seeing a tremendous amount of lightning with this storm just yet, but that could change pretty quickly. So you want to make sure you protect yourself as this storm moves through the area over the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. So we're going to zoom back out and kind of give you a larger, broader picture of what's going on across East Alabama. That's the only real storm. Now, we have that a small storm down there in northeastern Lee County, just north of Bleecker, around Beans Mill, that's also going to move up into the same area as it moves to the northeast. Maybe a little bit of hail with that one, about a 40% chance of hail in that storm just north of Bleecker. Just north of Highway 38 down there in Lee County. The rest of you across East Alabama looking good at this hour. Nothing happening at the moment. We have that severe thunderstorm watch to your south, basically along and south of I-85. Big thunderstorm at this hour from just south of Montgomery, back up to Tuskegee. And then more storms down around Union Springs, and then back over to the east, to the southwest of Columbus. None of this stuff is severe at the moment. No warnings across East Alabama or West Georgia. We're simply looking at this severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. I do anticipate a new watch to come out from the Storm Prediction Center pretty much at any time. I would anticipate that being a tornado watch. And right now, I would expect it to maybe be in place for these areas below Montgomery, but also for areas north. Up here, maybe all the way up to Birmingham, or maybe even further north than that. And I'm judging that by the new tornado watch that we have in effect over here in Mississippi. And you can see that goes almost to Tuscaloosa. And we have some big storms over here in Mississippi. Meridian, Mississippi, with a supercell thunderstorm. That's a thunderstorm warning that's in effect there for Meridian, Mississippi. I'm just looking to see the verbiage on this one. Okay, I was looking to see if it mentioned a possible tornado, but it does not. Then we have another severe thunderstorm, and I mean, this is a monster over here on I-20 near Jackson, Mississippi. Areas that just simply don't need to be seeing this in Mississippi, getting it again today. They're calling for 2-inch sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds with this particular storm near Jackson, Mississippi. That's moving to the east. That will eventually end up in Alabama also. And then you just see the train. I mean, the track goes all the way back to the Mississippi River and even into Louisiana. We're seeing that. Look at that tornado watch box there. It stretches from the Alabama-Mississippi state line all the way to Houston, Texas. Wow. It'll take some time for all of that weather to clear the southeastern United States. So you understand why we may be looking at another long-duration event about to get underway across Alabama and Georgia as we go into the evening hours and the overnight hours. It looks like severe weather is going to be possible again. Let me go up here and take a look at the chat box and see if anybody has any questions. We have a lot of folks joining us again this afternoon. What time will round 2 happen in LaGrange? Diana, we're probably, you've got storms just south of LaGrange now. Now, they're not severe. But this area of thunderstorm activity just to the east of Lynette and West Point will be moving to the northeast. It may slip a little bit south of LaGrange, but you see it's building back into Chambers County here south of Lafayette. So I would anticipate that part to end up here in LaGrange. So I mean, you could have another thunderstorm in LaGrange within the hour, though at the moment it's not severe. If we have more severe in West Georgia, I think it will probably be closer to 6 or 7 o'clock, or I'm sorry, closer to 7 or 8 o'clock, maybe even 9 p.m. Eastern before we would see anything severe over there in the LaGrange area. I know you folks in Troup County are very nervous after what happened this morning down there in the southern part of Troup County. A lot of damage down there. From that tornado this morning that touched down sometime shortly after 7 a.m. The Temple, Villa Rica area, nothing happening up there right now. Most of the storms are well south of you up there on I-20. Fortson, Georgia, you're just south of where the tornado went through this morning. And, yeah, there's a pretty strong thunderstorm to your west, right there along I-185. Let's see if we can get you just south of 116. And that's going to move off to the east-northeast, probably move very close to the Fortson area as that moves on off to the northeast. But again, it's not severe. It's below severe limits. So we're talking about some thunder, lightning, maybe some gusty winds, and some brief, very heavy rainfall as that storm moves through the Fortson area there in Harris County. Penn, Alabama, you look good right now. There is absolutely nothing up here in western or northwestern Chambers. There's nothing downstream in Tallapoosa or Coosa at this hour. So there's nothing threatening western Chambers County at the moment. Phoenix City and Columbus. Yeah, you've got this stuff back over, well, down here by Hurtsboro that's coming right up 431. So that will be in the Phoenix City area within the hour. Again, it's not severe. Then you have more storms over here around Tuskegee that are moving off to the northeast. That'll probably clip the Phoenix City area as well, moving to the northeast. But again, these storms are not severe. These are heavy thunderstorms, but they are below severe limits at this time. There's another one of our supporters in here this evening. Hey, Mr. Jimmy Stevens, good to see you in here. The chance of tornadoes with the storms we're looking at on radar right now, they're not severe, so I can't really say that we have a chance of seeing tornadic storms with any of these that are on radar at the moment. But as the heating of the day continues, these storms could start going severe. Once we start seeing rotation in some of these storms, then the tornado threat would increase tremendously. Right now, we don't see it, but we're going to have to keep an eye on this stuff. I think the storms we have back in Mississippi that'll be rotating across central Alabama and eventually into East Alabama and West Georgia during the overnight stand a much better chance of being tornadic. But we can't rule it out, even with the storms that we have in place right now across East Alabama and West Georgia. It's possible. Same thing for Roanoke. Nothing up there right now. There's nothing threatening Randolph County. There's nothing threatening Clay, Talladega, Coosa, Tallapoosa. Most of Chambers is good. Even most of Troup County is good at the moment. Heard County and Carroll County, nothing up there. The storms that we're watching right now are just to the east and northeast of Lynette and West Point, moving to the northeast. Those storms are moving over the area where the tornado moved through southern Troup this morning. And then we have more scattered storms to the south. But again, none of these storms are severe at the moment. So we're watching all of this. Bobby G. Fredonia is in East Alabama up there in Chambers County, where I just said there's nothing going on up there, so you're good for the moment. That could change a little bit later on, though, as we get some more of these storms to build back to our southwest. So, again, a lot of folks in here with us. I'm not going to stay wall to wall at this point because we don't have anything threatening. I just wanted to give you an update on what we're looking at right now and what we think is going to happen as we go throughout the evening. The only, the only warning that we have, even remotely close to us at the moment, is down here to the east of Richland, Georgia, to the west of Americus, or just to the northwest of Plains, Georgia. We have a severe thunderstorm down there moving to the northeast near Preston, Georgia. But as we come back over here toward East Alabama and West Georgia, we're not seeing anything other than this one heavy thunderstorm up here in southern Troup County that's moving right up Highway 219 and crossing over the areas there where we had that tornado this morning that caused so much damage here in southern Troup County. Also want to pass along to you, this morning we had a couple of animals that were loose over here at the Wild Animal Safari Park. Those were 2 tigers. Both of those tigers have been apprehended. We believe that they broke loose from their pen when the tornado hit the Wild Animal Safari Park. We've seen several interviews and read multiple reports that there was some pretty significant damage there at the Wild Animal Safari Park. Quite honestly, I'm surprised only the 2 tigers were the only ones that got loose, but they were able to find the tigers with the assistance of Troup County Sheriff's Office and Georgia Department of Natural Resources got involved in it along with park employees. They were able to dart both animals, put them to sleep, and then capture them and get them back to the park safely. Where they're doing fine, we understand, at this hour. So they were not injured. They didn't injure anybody else. These 2 tigers have been raised by humans their entire life, so they're not dangerous, but they are still wild animals. So there was a couple of very nervous hours there until they were located, because you just don't know what a scared wild animal is going to do. But they behaved, did not cause any issues, and they're back in captivity now. So we don't have to worry about that. And now it's just dealing with these showers and thunderstorms that keep moving over the same areas where we had all this damage this morning. But if you're watching us over here in West Point or anywhere along the tornado track, from this morning, just know that you do have a shower in your area with some embedded moderate to heavy rain. That will be moving on off to the northeast fairly rapidly. And then we have some more down to the south, though I think the heaviest part of this second round is probably going to go right over Pine Mountain. I don't think we'll see a whole lot there in the West Point area. Raining pretty hard now in Lynette all the way down to Valley, especially right there at the Valley-Lynette exit off of I-85. Some pretty heavy rainfall coming down right there. So we are watching this for you from the Weather Center, the Alpha Weather Center. And if we see that we have severe warnings being issued, we'll come right back and we'll continue with our coverage. We're also waiting to see what the Storm Prediction Center is going to do with their next watch update. I anticipate a tornado watch, and I think it will at least encompass another tier or 2 of counties to the north. We'll see what they decide to do here in just a few moments as we watch this together. And I'll return and continue with severe weather coverage on Dr. Don's Weather as soon as conditions warrant, or we have more new information for you. So stay with us on Dr. Don's Weather.